a senior American diplomat, slipped quietly into Belarus, a country long dismissed by Washington as a pariah state. The visit, unannounced and highly unusual, saw Christopher W. Smith, a Deputy Assistant Secretary of State, cross the border by car to meet President Alexander Lukashenko and his top security officials, as reported by the New York Times. It was the first high-level U.S. engagement with Belarus in 5 years, a dramatic shift in Washington's foreign policy under President Donald J. Trump. The New York Times has learned that Smith's visit followed a lengthy phone call between Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin just a day earlier. The timing suggests a coordinated move by the White House, breaking from Washington's previous strategy of isolating authoritarian leaders, even as tensions over Ukraine persist. The mission was not just symbolic. After meeting Lukashenko, Smith and 2 other American officials traveled to a remote village near the Lithuanian border, where the Belarusian KGB oversaw the handover of 3 prisoners, an American and 2 Belarusian political detainees. Under the cover of night, the Americans and the freed prisoners crossed into Vilnius. Standing outside the U.S. Embassy, Smith hailed the operation as a huge win and a response to President Trump's peace through strength agenda. Behind closed doors, Smith reportedly told Western diplomats that this was just the beginning. According to sources who attended the briefing and spoke to the New York Times on condition of anonymity, Washington is now considering a grand bargain. Lukashenko could release additional political prisoners in exchange for the U.S. easing sanctions on Belarusian banks and lifting restrictions on potash exports. This marks a stark departure from the Biden administration's efforts to strangle Belarus economically over Lukashenko's repression and his alliance with Moscow. While sanctions disrupted Belarus's potash industry, they ultimately benefited Russia, another major producer. Yet secrecy surrounds the U.S.-Belarus talks. Belarusian state media, usually eager to highlight diplomatic engagements, has remained unusually reserved, fueling speculation over the visit's true scope. For now, key details remain undisclosed, and the State Department has declined to comment. But one thing is clear: the Trump administration is engaging with strongmen once deemed untouchable. Whether this signals a strategic realignment or a high-stakes gamble remains to be seen.